Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Cinderellimouse and I'm here today with another sim that I've created for the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. Now I do have all packs installed. Shout out as well to the EA Creator Network who do provide me with codes for the packs. Yeah, so I'm mainly going to be using Enchanted by Nature for the fairy aspect, Island Living because this sim is starting off as a mermaid, and a few different other packs, maybe a bit of Love Struck just for the romance elements and the romance skill, because she's intended to be a kind of siren. Now what we'd kind of think of as a modern day siren. So she's very seductive, she does have the emotional force need, or she will do, so she's gonna try and lure men to her island in order to feed off their emotional force so that she can survive. So I am aware that sirens used to be bird women. I'm ignoring the wing aspect of this and I'm gonna go mainly for mermaid. She is gonna be a hybrid sim, so she's going to be a mermaid and a fairy. When you get her from the gallery, she's just going to be a mermaid, but you can actually add the fairy trait and it works pretty well. I'll show you how to do that. So this is Calypso Waters. You may have seen her before. She was in one of my earlier cast videos for Enchanted by Nature, but I've kind of updated her now that I have all packs installed. She has that wonderful like glistening skin that was added with the patch alongside Enchanted by Nature to give her that kind of wet look. I love this wet look hair because I just think it's really useful. I think, you know, if you were to use that specifically for swimwear but have a, sorry my phone's pinging, if you were to have like a fluffier hair and then use this specifically for swimwear, I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to get more wet look hairs. I love her makeup, I love how glam she looks. When she walks out of the ocean she kind of reminds me of like Halle Berry in James Bond. She is a stunner. Talking about her traits, she's a serial romantic again because this is her survival strategy. I'll give you her backstory when we jump into game, but yes, she's a seductress, you know. She's a music lover because she loves singing. She can be a little bit jealous. Again, this is because she relies on her men as her food supply. Like, she can't risk other sirens, other women, other mermaids taking them from her because she would literally die. Also, she has Child of the Ocean because she's a mermaid. Some of her likes and dislikes: she likes romance and singing because typical of a siren. She also really likes people who are very emotional because, you know, she wants that. That's what her aim is, to take those strong emotions off people. So that is quite attractive to her. So again, she isn't interested in the romance side of things. She uses romance as a lure, as a seduction technique. I'm going to quickly, briefly run through her outfits. Look at those amazing nails on her there. So I've gone for things that feel very beachy, fabric that feels very flowy with this kind of like crossover effect. Anything that feels almost like the inside of a shell with that kind of pearlescent quality is something else that I've gone for, and anything that feels like fish scales. So this is her everyday outfit. I have kept the original everyday outfit that I gave her when I only had Enchanted by Nature installed, just in case you like that one. I've also given her this as formal wear, again because it has that pearlescent quality. I'm using a lot of different packs here, so a lot of these items actually come from kits. If you do want to know any specific item, if you go to the gallery and you find her on the gallery and you click that item, it will tell you which pack it's from. Yeah, this is her athletic wear. I love this. I love the shape of this. It just feels so modern and realistic. I really love this outfit. Sleepwear is, she actually has two because I don't know, she seduces men quite a lot, so she needs a lot of sleepwear options. But I love this because it has this kind of shell design. This is from the Sentiments kit. And then I gave her this necklace that feels like the heart of the ocean from Titanic. It just felt thematically appropriate. Again, I really love this kind of coral seashell pink on her. I think it's really pretty. Her other underwear is from Love Struck and it's this gorgeous kind of blue, kind of floaty design. I thought it reminded me of like water and waves, so I thought that suited her really nicely. Her party wear, her first look is this kind of scale-like dress from the, I want to say it's like the Carnival Streetwear kit, which has this almost fish scale effect, and then continuing with that idea with this skirt, which I think is from the Moonlight Chic kit, if I remember correctly. It's really hard to remember all the different kits because we have so many now, but I think it's from the Moonlight Chic kit. Do double check before purchasing anything, and then paired with that lovely silky top there to have a similar effect. I would probably style that with the black option. I think it looks just a little bit nicer, but I was going for that kind of ocean seashell color combination, so I thought that was probably a bit more appropriate. Swimwear is this wonderful kind of wrap over. I love these knickers. These I think are like Simpsons collection. They're not actually tagged for swimwear. They're actually underwear, but I think they look really, really nice as bikini bottoms. So she has those. She has amazing hips, like crush me girl. Hot weather is this wrap over design. I've glammed it up a little bit to give her this almost modern I'm going on a yacht and I've got lots of money vibe with the kind of white and gold jewelry and glasses. Finally, her cold weather. This is my least favorite outfit, I'm going to be honest. I don't think she's going to wear it very often because she's going to live in Salon. It's going to be hot weather anyway. But I've continued this kind of crossover draped fabric design with the kind of pearlescent, silky, drapey fabric. I think it looks kind of modern. I don't love it, but it's okay. It works. It fits the theme. So let's get her moved in. I'm going to press play. So when you do get her, if you are going to download her from the gallery, she is going to come as a mermaid, and you're going to have to manually apply the fairy cheat to her. I do recommend doing any edits to her now in CAS before you start playing with her, because as soon as you add that fairy tag, it's going to be really hard to bring her back into CAS because it's going to confuse the game whether you're giving her a mermaid tail or fairy wings. So basically CAS is going to be broken. So get her the way you want her now, and just imagine that you're not going to use the wings on her. And yeah, let's continue. Yeah, perfect. Now, I'm not editing this video. Some of you may know I've got a really bad back at the moment. I slipped while I was ice skating and basically monkey stumped myself. And yeah, it's quite painful. And apparently it's going to be a few weeks to heal. So my videos are going to slow down a little bit. We're going to go for summer. And yeah, I'm going to try and do like minimal editing just because it's quite painful to sit at my desk. Right, we're heading to Solani. So yeah, do please forgive me that I don't edit my waffle out and things like that. We're going to go to this island up here, this kind of almost like abandoned island, like a castaway island, Key Point. And I'll tell you a bit about her backstory. So she was originally from Innisgreen. She was originally from the fairy world. However, one day she went out for a swim, there was a big storm, and she kind of washed up on this island. So she's kind of stranded. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the testing cheats enabled cheat, testing cheats on. And then I'm going to go ahead and set her money to 0. So we're going to do a little bit of a rags to riches survival type vibe here. And then I'm going to need the fairy trait. So give me a second. I'm going to cheat, sorry. And I'm going to go and grab that. Okay, fairy cheat acquired. So if I pull up her needs bar here, you can see that she has the mermaid need for hydration that replaces the hygiene need. This is going to be super easy to fulfill for her because she can just literally just go into the water and her hydration will continue to go back up. But I want her to be a fairy as well. I know some of you are kind of like really wanting a mermaid perk tree and for mermaids to feel more involved and have more gameplay, and I think making a mermaid fairy hybrid works really, really well because fairies have all these like emotion abilities that I think complement mermaids super duper well. So we're going to go ahead and apply this trait. So it's going to say the cheat is traits.equip _trait occult fairy all ages. So I'm just going to go ahead and press return on that and get rid of that cheat window. You can see that this has changed already, but she doesn't currently have the emotional force need. All you need to do to make this show is click off it and then back onto needs, and now you can see that this has was updated, and it has actually combined really successfully the fairy emotional force need and the mermaid hydration. And we also have access now to fairy abilities. So some of the perks that I think are going to be particularly useful to her, I believe that Nurture Nature is the one that allows you to hydrate mermaids. So if she does happen to meet any other mermaids, she's going to be able to help them out with that ability. But also all the emotional needs I think are going to be really, really useful as a mermaid. And maybe even being able to apply ailments might be quite fun, to be able to curse people. Maybe there's like specific ones that are more suitable to mermaids than others. Also, I maybe would go for Warm Force game, because that means every time she's doing romantic socials, it's going to replenish her emotional force. For now, she doesn't have any points available, so we're just going to have to wait for her to level up with that. Now, the wonderful thing about this kind of mermaid fairy combo is that you can have this kind of rounded use of abilities. So if you were just a fairy, a lot of the fairy abilities cost emotional force. So you have this cycle of doing an ability and then needing to replenish your emotional force. Now that we have hydration added and the mermaid abilities, we're able to affect people's emotions using the mermaid abilities, which costs hydration, and then we're able to take those emotions back off a sim to increase our emotional force, and then really, really easily level up the hydration. So it's more of a rounded system. I'll show you this in practice because I don't know if it's making a huge amount of sense right now. We'll wait until a guy approaches the island. So again, going to her backstory, she's basically washed up here, and she's going to need to figure out how to survive. So I'm going to have her beach comb. I'm going to have her beach comb for seashells. Get back here. We do have to watch her hydration, because I believe if you've got seasons installed and it's particularly hot and sunny, I think you're going to notice that hydration going down faster. However, if you do get some kind of like tropical storm, that's going to replenish, the rain is going to replenish her hydration needs. So do keep an eye on that, because they could die quite easily if you're not careful. She's scared. What was that from beach combing? Something touched my hand. Now you can see that the beach combing interaction from island living does actually give the natural living skill. So this is really, really lovely and useful. There's certain things that aren't going to be too useful. So for example, the natural living skill and Enchanted by Nature give you the bathe in water ability. This isn't particularly useful for her because she doesn't have a hygiene need. It does replenish hydration, but it replenishes it at a slower rate than if she just swam around. So ignore bathe in water and just go for a swim if you need to increase your hydration. What it can do though is give her the ability to sleep on the ground, which is very, very useful. Apparently she can't do it right now because we're in the middle of a heat rave, so she's gonna have to actually increase her natural living skill in order to sleep on the ground during hot weather. I would say that if you do happen to do that, I'm gonna keep beach combing to build her a natural living skill. I would say that if you do sleep on the beach, which is basically her only option, do keep an eye on her hydration, because it does go down quite quickly. It's almost like she's drying out on the hot sand, and so sleeping is kind of risky for her. You can also see here the look system is applied. So one thing that people kept asking in my comments on my cross compatibility videos, thank you to everybody who comments, it really, really helps out the channel, is does the look system and the balance system apply in other worlds, not just Innisgreen? And yes, they apply everywhere to every sim, basically, that, you know, every adult sim. And so you can see here that she actually has bad luck today, and this is affecting the things that she's finding through beach combing. So it says, looks like Calypso has felt the effects of luck for the first time. Good and bad luck have a chance to impact the results of a sim's actions for better or worse. If desired, there are ways to temporarily change a sim's luck, otherwise luck changes every day. And you can see here it says Calypso has a feeling that her bad luck might have been a factor in getting a tulip shell. So what I have found while I've been playing with her, because I've been playing with her in my own game as well, I've started her afresh to kind of show you the initial setup. If you look here, it's a common shell. So I think that the luck affects how rare the items are that we're discovering here. What I have found while beach beachcombing is some of the items that affect look. So while I've been beachcombing specifically for seashells, I've found like the cowplant horn that gives you bad luck. So some of those Enchanted by Nature apothecary items are showing up when you beachcomb. So I really, really love the cross compatibility there. If I just keep having her do it a few more times, I do love that we can visually see that she is being affected by luck. You know, with that kind of black, what are they called? Four-leaf clover, to kind of like show us that, yeah, that's not working too well. So basically this is how she's going to create an income. I'm eventually going to get her a little sales table and she can sell her seashells on the seashore. Now, some other things that I want to kind of point out to you. The way that I'm going to play her is that currently she is restricted to her own island and this water around here. Gradually, she's going to start to explore further and further out. So I'm going to have her start to explore the entire island. As she meets people, she may start to get invited to places. So if she gets invited somewhere, she can go, but she can't go to any lots or areas that she hasn't specifically been invited to. It's basically, the idea is that they're locked to her unless she gets an opportunity to go. So the aim is to get her back to Innis Green, but I think she's gonna like it here. Currently, she's kind of a bit socially awkward. She's a little bit frightened. She's a little bit scared. She's in survival mode. But I think as she levels up her natural living skill and gets to interact with humans a little bit more, and learn kind of the ways of the culture here, I think she's actually going to want to stay in the end. That's going to be the outcome of her story. Let's have her make a few friends though. If I bring her over here into the ocean, swim here, we can see that she does indeed still have her mermaid tail. Again, I'm not intending to use the fairy wings, so if you do click on her, you can see that she has the mermaid abilities and she has the fairy abilities. So you can reveal fairy form if you want to. Now the problem with this is that she will have randomized wings that may not suit her, and if you try to take her into cast to change that, it may actually bug out her tail. So I don't recommend taking her back into cast. I recommend not using the fairy form. So here we go. This says, when fairies like Calypso clean themselves, they leave behind little piles of fairy dust. These fairy dust piles can be collected and used for a variety of things, like enchanting plants or gnomes. So if you did want to, she doesn't need to eat, but if you did want her to grow a few plants, maybe so that she can feed the human males that she lures to her island, you know, you could potentially use some of those plant abilities for her there. The thing about fairy dust, so sometimes you will see that there's like piles of fairy dust. Let me just see if I can, oh, I can't do it because I'm in deep water. Sometimes the fairy dust will float. It can be a little bit hard to pick up, but if you click on it a couple of times, she will eventually pick it up. I tend to use collect all fairy dust. That seems to work a little bit better. So like I said, we're going to make a friend for her. So I'm going to click on her. No, sorry, I'm going to click on the water and I'm going to call over an azure dolphin. Here we go. She's got a few different buffs here. Child of the Ocean from her trait. What was that from beachcombing? And Bad Luck Bauble. Here we go. So we have a new friend. So we don't have to worry too much about her social need because she has a friendly dolphin buddy that she can talk to and summon at any point. Now it does cost hydration to summon the dolphin, but if you're in water anyway, the hydration is just going to replenish. It's fine. So we can do some cute things like pet the dolphin. I can also request trick and do my favorite, which is belly rub, and you'll be able to see that we instantly have a really, really good relationship with the dolphin. We can give the dolphin a name as well if we want to. Where's it gone? He's left. Oh well. You can name the dolphin if you do want to, but unfortunately the dolphin has left. Now another challenge for her, something that she can get quite into, because fairies are really, really interested in nature and kind of keeping the natural world kind of vibrant and nice. The Sulani, the world itself, has some ecological factors that you can kind of pay attention to. So sometimes trash is going to turn up on the beach, or you're going to find trash floating in the water. You can see here that this water is kind of a little bit discoloured. This is because the health of the island is not great. There's probably a little bit of trash around. Also, sometimes over here you'll see some like volcanic sulfur piles that you will need to clean up. The more you clean up the island, the better the condition of the island will be. So it has this lovely kind of conservation feel, which I think really suits a fairy mermaid hybrid with their interest in nature and keeping the environment kind of nice. So yeah, I love that for her. So she is going to definitely look at kind of making the island nice. So I'm wondering if she's going to get the buff from oh, she can sleep in the water as well as a mermaid. I didn't realize that. It's been a while since I've played with mermaids, if I'm honest. Yeah, they've never been in a cult that I've been overly fond of, but for some reason I really like Calypso. She's called Calypso after the Greek kind of sorcerer who lured, well, she seduced Odysseus, or tried to, didn't she? Okay, so yeah, if you swim around in the mucky water, you might sometimes get a bad buff. So over here we do have a visitor to the island. It is a lady, litterbug, Leah Harata. I think we need to actually challenge her. Confront about wrongdoing, because, you know, we do care about the environment and we don't want to see a litterbug making our island messy. So we can use some of the more aggressive mermaid and fairy powers on her if we want to. She is interested in specifically seducing male sims. So it's just, you know, the customization that I gave her, but you could go ahead and change that if you want to. But I don't think she's adverse to absorbing this person's emotions. So I'm going to use Siren's lullaby. So currently I can't absorb an emotion because she isn't in any emotion other than fine. But if I do Siren's lullaby and go for let's go for Night's Requiem, minus 30 hydration. I normally go for the Siren's lullaby. Oh, she's shouting back at me. Okay, lady, you're making an enemy. So if you do get the opportunity to give her additional traits, I would recommend Socially Awkward, because she doesn't understand humans. She doesn't know how to interact with them. All she knows is that instinct to seduce in order to get food. They're really arguing right now. She's like, how dare you litter this beautiful beach? Like, do you know how harmful this is to my ocean friends? Well, they're really arguing. That's quite a long interaction, actually. I didn't expect it to be that long. I do play with the conservation crew quite often, but I don't often get into these encounters where I confront the litterbugs. I more like go around tidying up. Okay. So hopefully she's in an interaction now, and we could go ahead and absorb that emotion. I don't know what emotion she's in. I guess it's going to be a surprise. Hey, come back here. Wait. Where do you think you're going? You're not getting away with this. Absorb emotion. I think that is pretty much most of the stuff that I wanted to show you and tell you about. So if you are downloading her, she'll be available on the gallery as a mermaid. Just use the cheat to give her the fairy ability. And let me know how you get on with her. So we've taken the energized buff off her, spillover and the sad buff, while absorbing the emotional force. Some of the mood spilled over from the other sim onto Calypso. We don't care. We ate. We're gonna tell her to leave, I think. Oh, is she no longer? No, she is a litterbug. Why can't I tell her to leave anymore? Friendly, mean. I don't know. Get out of here, you. I'll clean up your mess. So hopefully we're going to have a guy wonder over here. We can start to create our little like food resource. I think she'd probably have a few different guys kind of in her rotation, because, you know, she needs to make sure she has a diverse, oh gosh, she looks so beautiful. Screenshot. She does need to make sure she's got like a diverse food supply. You know, it's healthier that way. It's more like sustainable. Yeah, but I think that is pretty much it for now. So like I say, using the mermaid abilities to get people into an emotion that we can consume does cost hydration, but we can just literally go ahead and go into the water and our hydration will start to go up. You can also, in this area, there's also this waterfall, and we can go ahead here and shower in the water if we want to. Just again, a nice way of getting the water up quite quickly. Come on, a little bit deeper. There we go. It's going up now. So yeah, that is basically the plan. Hang on a second. Who is this? Hi. Oh, a innocent, sweet male has wandered onto our beach. Let's go ahead and get over here. I'm not intending to use the fairy fly here ability because in my head she's more of a mermaid than a fairy. She's not going to use her wings. So let's go ahead, and I don't have the romantic introduction unlocked yet, so I'm just going to go for a Tomarani introduction. They're not in Tomarang, but it feels kind of suitable. It's a similar tropical environment. So hang on, stop, go back. Stop running, go back to him. Do as you're told, Sim. Because Sim's so slow to comply with the watcher's orders. Hi. Hello. Are you over emotional? Because I love that in a game. Oh God, see what I mean about being socially awkward? So we have this mermaid's kiss. I can go ahead and use it on him. I thought this was going to be a seduction thing because I've not played with mermaids for a while, but I think it's just intended to make them like breathe in water or something. It doesn't seem to have a huge effect when you're not playing with the sim actively. Complement appearance. Let's start to seduce him. Acquired the romance skill. Perfect. So we could go ahead and mermaid Siren's lullaby, Charmer's lullaby to force him into a romantic mood and just make romance and seduction a little bit easier. Like I say, I am going to work on the romance skill as well from Love Struck, which is going to help us with our charm as well. Flirt. What else do we want to do? Talk about how hot it is, or how hot I am. Am I making you hot? Is what she's saying to him. He's not really interested. I'm going to come on a bit strong, declare love publicly, because again, in my head, she's really socially awkward. Pretend to be interested in non-set fairy traditions. So again, this is the first male sim that she's encountered. She's kind of doing what's instinctive because she's not human, right? She's fae, but she's getting it all wrong, and I kind of like that through storytelling, that it didn't work out for her, but she's going to keep working on her seduction techniques, and hopefully if he comes back around we can try again. She's had a bit of fun though. She enjoyed that. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. Like I say, you can come over here and sleep if you want to. And also kind of, I don't think you need to pee. I don't think you need to worry about bladder. But yeah, apparently you can sleep in the water as well as a mermaid, which I didn't realise. So that's going to come in helpful too. I'm going to pretty much leave it there. I'm going to keep playing with her in my own game and see if I can get her back to Innisgreen through befriending humans and getting invites. And we'll see how she goes. So for the time being, I'm going to keep collecting seashells. So hopefully if she gets invited anywhere with a sales table, I can make a little bit of money for her. Maybe start to kit out her island and make it a little bit more comfortable for her human guests. I may also send her like scuba diving or snorkeling. I think that'd be quite a cute thing for her to do as well. In my head, she's kind of vegetarian. Well, she doesn't really need to eat, to be honest. So I don't plan on having her fishing or eating fish. I think she'd be quite against that. But I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you. So let me know if you play with her. Oh, look here. Here's some fairy stuff. Let's try and get it. So like I say, if you do collect all fairy dust, that tends to work a little bit better than the other option. Come back, come and get your fairy dust. She says no. Let's keep trying it. Collect all fairy dust, put in inventory. Yeah, it's really awkward. Eventually they do it if you just keep moving them around. But yeah, it's kind of awkward. Collect all fairy dust. You're right next to it, girl. Like I say, she will get it eventually. It just takes a few tries. Swim here? You have to be persistent. Oh, no, she's not doing it because it's on camera. That's what it is. So a little bit of a bug there, but like I say, keep trying, you'll get it eventually. Hang on a second. Love of her life. This is the person that I want her to seduce the most. Makoa Kiloha. Let's give it one more try. We now have romantic introductions, so we might have a little bit of extra luck with him. So yeah, like I say, let's sweat. She loves fitness. Yeah, go for it. If you are getting her off the gallery, she will be a mermaid, and you can go ahead and apply that fairy trait. I think she's a lot of fun to play with. If you want to share your screenshots with me on Blue Sky or Twitter, please go ahead and do so. I would love to know how her story plays out in your games. Yeah, I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to say. So let's just see if we can seduce him. Not relationship, mermaid, Siren's lullaby, Charmer's lullaby. So I do love this because, like I say, trying to get someone into a certain emotion normally as a fairy costs emotional force. So it's kind of like a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation. But with the hydration need for mermaids, it kind of balances out really, really nicely. Blow a kiss. Let's try blow a kiss. She might be coming on a little bit strong. I'm going to be honest. I hate confess attraction. It never works for me. So I try not to use that. Oh, she wants to handcuff him? Wow, she is kinky. He said, no, no. She's like, whoopsie, I'm so cute and awkward. Silly me. She's like the star of a 90s movie. Listen, we're going to keep working on him. Heartfelt compliment. I think she has like smooth recovery as well. So she comes on so strong. Like she can go straight to holding hands. She wouldn't even think, flooded with laughter. She wouldn't even think to ask about if he's got any other loves in his life. Like, she doesn't understand romance in that way. Compliment appearance. Flirt. Brighten day. Let's pepper in some friendly socials for balance. Pickup line. He's just going to keep saying no. I don't know if you should reject her so harshly. I think you're going to make her a little bit annoyed. She's like, well, I guess you're only good for one thing then. Fairy absorb emotion. It's not working out too well for her. But she can keep trying. She can keep learning about the human world. Try and understand humans better. See what makes them tick. And hopefully, eventually, find someone who's going to invite her to leave her island. Yeah, they're not doing too great together, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye, friends.